Alright guys, we're starting the stream out, coming in hot and heavy, starting a little early tonight just to get it rolling, make sure there's no hiccups with the stream at all, adjusting the frame a little bit so it's good for streaming. Make sure everything is kosher. I think we look good right now. Again, starting it a little early tonight. Drink of choice, we're going back to a classic. We're going to do some cherry Coke. These are the newer cans. We're doing a little cherry Coke tonight. Let's take a look at the thumbnail, make sure it showed up properly, because I usually get a thumbnail of all my videos when I stream, so let's make sure it looks good. I think it looks kosher there. Hey, Captain Rex, thanks for coming into the stream tonight. Starting it a little early, make sure everything looks good to go. Again, as mentioned, drink of choice, we're doing some cherry Coke tonight, so bottoms up, boys and girls. A lot to talk about tonight. You might have saw it from the thumbnail. We're talking heavily about Avengers Endgame. I saw it this weekend, opening weekend. Tickets were very, very, very hard to get a hold of. They were selling ridiculously on the aftermarket for a silly amount of money, hundreds of dollars. But I was lucky to get, my girl actually got tickets for me and her this weekend. We'll go into more detail about Avengers Endgame shortly. First thing we're going to talk about when we get the stream underway is some of the toy pickups over the weekend. I actually was able to get my hand on in the last toy stream as well, my last toy hunting video, and some things I want to talk about going forward for this coming weekend. This, which will be look at my calendar. It is the May 4th. So May 4th, there's a big event that's going to be happening in comic book stores. I'll talk about that briefly as well before we get into Avengers Endgame. Yes, I did see Game of Thrones, the Long Winter, I believe the episode was called, or the Long Night. That's what it was called. Great episode. It was a 90-minute episode, hour and a half. If you have not yet seen it, you really need to watch that episode if you're a Game of Thrones fan. I don't want to delve too deep into that because the main topic tonight is Avengers Endgame. And we'll talk about that shortly. Take a look at, make sure everything looks good on the stream. Taking a look at all my stuff. Take a look at the thumbnail. Make sure it is good. It looks perfect. Excellent. There's a lot to really talk about and digest from Avengers Endgame. It's going to be as spoiler-free as I possibly can make it. There might be spoilers dropped. Please be aware that in the chat, try not to post spoilers if you have seen the movie. This is going to be more of a generalization and overview of the movie and some thoughts that I picked up from the movie going forward. Hey, Rainbow Optimus, how's it going, sir? Exactly, Captain Rex, exactly. So there's going to be a lot to talk about in tonight's stream. First thing we'll do, we'll get to it in a second here. Let me, before I start doing that, actually let me do the toy pickups. Hopefully you guys would have watched the most recent toy hunting video. My last two toy hunting videos have been kind of spur-of-the-moment hunts, usually coming home from work, going to a store. That's what happened the last two toy hunts. I wasn't specifically going out looking for something. It was literally right place, right time, and I came across stuff. How is the sound in the chat? Let me know, guys. Again, I can't hear myself talking, so I'm assuming it's okay. If not, let me know. I might be able to crank the mic a little higher. It might be pretty high right now as it is. Please let me know in the chat if it's okay. And the drink of tonight is, we're doing some cherry Coke. Thanks, Rainbow. So, toy hunt. I showcased off in that particular toy hunt a really cool Avengers Endgame end cap. It was a massive end cap at a local Walmart. It had a lot of stuff on it. It had, as far as not toy related, they had Ziploc bags, they had throw rugs, they had, yep, I'm going to talk about that in a second, Captain. They had some really cool Hot Wheels. They had some Lego. They had some of the Avengers set, the new Thanos build set, which has Citizen 5 in it. It has the new Ronin figure. It has the new Captain America figure. You put that set together for the Collect and Connect, and that builds the new Thanos figure from the new movie, which has the big helicopter blade, that double-edged sword he has. On the other side, the end cap of that, they had a bunch of Funko stuff. In that toy hunt, I saw almost the entire wave, and they had the Rocket Raccoon Walmart exclusive and the Ronin mask Walmart exclusive. I I had them in my hands. I went back to the display today, and it was completely empty. They didn't have one Funko item on that end cap. I could have purchased those two items. I kind of held off on it, mainly, as I said in the toy hunting video. I'm not a massive Marvel fan to begin with, and even a less fan when it comes to Marvel when it comes to Funko. So I kind of said I could have bought them. It was only really a $22 investment. But I said, let me hold off on it. Let someone else who really wants these stuff to get it. Because to me, it was a eh. I wasn't really sold to pick it up. So I was like, you know what? Let me just hold off on it. I'll take video of it, which I showcased in that toy hunt. Those items are out there. Check your local Walmarts. However, not all Walmarts are created equal. They're sort of it's location by. Whoops, got crap in my glasses. It's location by location. Not all Walmarts will have this display. My local Walmart, which I really go to like normally where I shop. No, not at all, Rainbow. I'm not a big Marvel fan. And the reason why I'm not a big Marvel fan is I used to collect a lot of Marvel stuff in my youth. I used to be a massive X-Men fan. I used to be a big Spider-Man fan. Not much for Captain America, not much for the Avengers, but I like the X-Men and I like Spider-Man. I was also a really, really big Darkhawk fan. It's a character that's sort of a C-string hero. Not a lot of people know about him. For example, Darkhawk, Sleepwalker, Speedball, Night Thrasher, part of the New Warriors. Those are the guys that I liked. And I like the B plus heroes, so to speak, or the C plus heroes. Also, I'm a massive Gambit fan. I love the character of Gambit. I have his first appearance. He sort of looks like a bag lady. I'm going to talk about it in my review this coming Thursday. And on that toy hunt, I did pick up the new Marvel Legends Gambit figure. I showcased this figure off. I was extremely happy. Woo! When I found this guy in the wild, I went back a couple days later, and all the figures were gone for the wave. This guy is not part, I repeat, is not part of the Collect and Connect, which will be talked about on the video on Thursday when I shoot the review video for this guy. I apologize for the glare. You might see it from coming off of my camera right now. But this is a really awesome Marvel Legends Gambit figure. As you notice here, all the figures listed 1 through 6 are part of the Collect and Connect for Caliban. The Gambit figure, of course, right here, has no numeric value, no number, so he's not needed to build the Caliban figure, the Collect and Connect. He's a one-off. You don't need this figure to build Caliban, which I'm fine with. I wasn't going to buy into that wave. I just wanted the Gambit figure because I'm a really big Gambit fan. And this is the guy I really wanted to get my hands on because this circles back to his original appearance back when Jim Lee created him and Chris Claremont in Uncanny X-Men 266. That was the first appearance of Gambit. It wasn't drawn by Jim Lee. 267 was drawn by Jim Lee. 266, first appearance of Gambit, he doesn't look like this. He looks literally like a bag lady. And his powers don't work the same way. He charges stuff, but the power comes out of his eyes. He'll look at a thing, and you'll see 2 bolts of energy hit the target, the item will glow, and then he will chuck it. His power didn't work that way in 267. In 266, I guess they were tweaking how his power worked. Hey, Leo, thanks for coming into the chat. Long time no see. And also, guys, there was no stream last weekend. Or last Monday, rather. So there was no stream, if everyone was curious. Did you miss out on anything? No, there was no stream. I had to go to the dentist. I had a lot of work done, so that's the reason why there was no stream. But the Gambit figure was $20. Actually, this was $18 at Walmart. So, the wave is out. I thought this wave, I mentioned it in the toy hunting video, I thought this character would have been out at the end of May, beginning of June. That's where all these pre-orders you go, let's say Entertainment Earth or Big Bad Toy Store. They're talking pre-orders around that time. Even Amazon was mentioning. But this character is really cool. He comes with three accessories, a bow staff, a single card with a glowing effect, and a hand which is attached to 3 cards where he wings them out. And that's going to be a video going up this Thursday, full review, full breakdown segment of this Gambit figure. So stay tuned for that. Next, we had a toy hunt. I didn't really showcase this off at a toy hunt because I picked it up at a GameStop, and GameStop is really, they frown upon people shooting video. I'm going to talk about that in about 3 minutes, Rainbow. I picked up Charlotte Flair. I talked about her on a toy hunting video. It's a very cool looking pop. I really want to get my hands on the Ric Flair one, where he looks like from WCW days, from World Championship Wrestling, the old school like NWA time where he had the belt and the glasses. I think that's that's a WW 2K either eight. I think it's a 2K18 figure. But I really wanted the Charlotte Flair because I thought she looked really, really cool in the peacock outfit. I thought it looked really, really nice. This is, mind you, the standard version of Charlotte Flair. The WWE Shop Zone one is the identical sculpt with a blue peacock, blue set of robes instead of the green one that you see here. I really wanted the figure. She does come on a figure stand if you were curious. She does have figure points there, 2 point stand. I was thinking about picking her up. I talked about her on a toy hunt. I really wanted to get my hands on her, and I said, you know what? I got to pick this figure up. And I decided to finally grab her. I got her at a GameStop. Very happy to get it. Yeah, the price for the Gambit was 18 and change. The Charlotte was $12 for the Charlotte figure. Rainbow talked about Free Comic Book Day, which is going to be May 4th. I'll talk about that shortly. If you guys were curious, the drink of choice is Cherry Coke tonight. So, Free Comic Book Day is May 4th, coming up this weekend. Of course, May the 4th be with you. May the 4th be with you. That's the sort of, I think it might be May 5th or May 4th. It's the Star Wars Day. I think it's May 5th, which is Star Wars Day. But May 4th is Free Comic Book Day in the U.S. Usually most comic book stores in the U.S. has Free Comic Book Day, which means they usually have a bunch of comics. Not everything on the shelf is free. You'll have a set of items which are what are called either silver books or gold books. These books are given by publishers out as free comics. This could be stuff that has not yet been released or a sneak peek of what's going to be released in the future to set up a storyline event. They usually do it for Free Comic Book Day. And just because something is in the silver bracket of books doesn't mean it's bad. They have Marvel books there. They have DC books there. I think they have Dynamite. They have, I think The Tick is one of the books they have there. They have Valiant. And for the gold books, you have those as well. So I was correct. So May 4th. I thought it was May 5th. I could have been wrong there, but May 4th is Free Comic Book Day and Star Wars Day. So that's going to be very, very hectic at my local comic book store, which I go to. Is going to be Tate's. I am going to be shooting video for that day. I'm shooting video for probably about 2 to 3 hours. I'm going to give a bonus footage piece of it. I usually will put the bonus piece at the end of the video. The video I'm hoping to be about 10 to 15 minutes in length. I shot it for 2 years already. This will be the third year, at least for third year for my channel. Third year me going there to Free Comic Book Day and getting some free books. Usually I don't read the books. Nothing wrong with the books, but because I'm so backlogged in my other books, I'm still reading the new Green Lantern stuff. I'm reading Doomsday Clock. I'm reading another maxi series for DC. So my time is extremely, extremely limited to read my books. I'm issue 5 of Green Lantern. Issue 7 is coming out this week. So I'm very, very backdated when it comes to reading my books. I usually will try to get them in like 4 to 6 issues in a clip. So I'll read them book to book to book. So I'll read them in a long clip. So Free Comic Book Day, you'll you usually have a board you can pick these books from. You usually get about 4 to 6 books. I've done Tate's for 2 years straight. This is my third year going. I'll record video getting there early of them setting up the process. I'm going to take cosplayers, very similar to what I do for my Comic-Con videos. I'll take video people in outfits. Usually Tate's has that a lot. The people will be dressed up. People love, love, love when you get captured on film. And me, I usually hand out my business card. If you've never seen my business card, I'll hold one up here for you guys. I try to make it as most professional as I possibly could. I will hand these out to all the cosplayers. This is my channel's card that I give out. Hopefully it will focus. 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 There we go. So this is my business card I usually give out when I go to Comic-Cons or Free Comic Book Days or not at Comic-Con. This is the cards I usually give out so people will know, yes, I am a YouTuber. Yes, their stuff's going to go on my channel. Have you ever tried Doom 2099? I absolutely have. I have read a couple issues of Doom 2099, Ravage 2099, Spider-Man 2099, even X-Men 2099. I do have an eclectic sense when it comes to what I like, but I have read a large gambit of, no, a large gambit, exactly, no pun intended, of books. I used to read a lot of Valiant books when Valiant was very, very hot. Valiant at one time really gave Marvel and DC a run for their money. I'm talking classic Valiant back in the 90s, where all the weird gimmicky covers you had. motion covers, you had litho covers, you had all sorts of gimmick covers. Really, Valiant started all that stuff out. Marvel and DC really expanded on the gimmick covers, but those were the ones that really started it. I bet Rainbow. Tate's restroom is not that big. It's standard restroom, but they have a gaming satellite next to their comic area, and that's where they do all their gaming, which includes Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon. They have D&D Wednesdays, where it's just they have people playing D&D Adventures, which are set of adventures given by DMs, and you have people who've never played D&D before can game on that particular night. So it's a very, very fun event. One of the reasons I talked about the May 4th stuff for Free Comic Book Day, I hope everybody goes. If you're comic book fans, I really suggest you supporting your comic book stores and going to those events. They're extremely, extremely fun. If you've never been to one, it is really an event. It's very, very fun. But one of the reasons I'm bringing it up besides that is for the last 2 years for Free Comic Book Day, Cryptozoic Studios have given out special exclusive bombshell figures that you can only get at Free Comic Book Day. 2 years ago, I picked up this one here, which is Wonder Woman, which is her in her 75th anniversary outfit. This is the sculpt for Wonder Woman for the little bombshells. If you're curious, the can is special. This is a special can, Wonder Woman. You can only get a Free Comic Book Day. Even has it on a tin there. And if you're curious, the figure is this one right here. Hopefully, Rainbow. She's a very cool figure. I have one still sealed in the canister because I wanted to get my hands on this figure very badly because I thought it looks really, really cute. It's a really cool figure. Next year, the following year, they did it again. This time it was Harley Quinn with the red, white, and blue version of Harley. Again, branding Free Comic Book Day right there. And it says it right there across the top of the can as well. If you were curious, this is what she looks like. I'm hoping, once again, for year 3, we have one of these again. I'm very, very hoping we can get another Cryptozoic Little Bombshell Free Comic Book Day exclusive. They cost about, I think, $10, $12. They're not cheap figures. Normally, these figures, if you were buying them normally, I want to say they're $7.99. So they really upcharge these figures because they're considered quote-unquote exclusives. But I really like both these figures. I'm hoping to make it a hat trick with year 3 to get another little bombshell figure. I do have a small little collection of them. And they're really neat little figures. If you want to have something you can sit on a shelf, doesn't take up a lot of space. I always keep them like literally this is how it would be sitting on a shelf for me. If you're curious, if you've ever, let me get her real quick. If you might have noticed in the background in some of my videos, you might have even seen her sitting there on my shelf. So this is how I display these. I keep them in the tin, and I keep the figure there. Just in case, if I wanted to eventually sell these down the line, I still have the original packaging they came with. So I like keeping that together. So again, Free Comic Book Day, I highly recommend going to it. If you've never been to one, seriously suggest it. If they do it this year, I hope they don't do Harley. I hope they don't do Wonder Woman because we've had it for the last 2 years. If I look at, let's say, the packaging for this one here, they could probably do Supergirl. They could probably do a Batgirl. I would say that would be 2 good ones there. But I don't know which wave they're going to take it from, so I don't know yet. They can do a Poison Ivy, absolutely. I do have a exclusive Poison Ivy, which came out of, I think, a Nerd Block. It was an exclusive figure. So I can see them doing an Ivy, absolutely. So what you guys are really sticking around for is, of course, Avengers Endgame. Let me know in the chat people who have seen it already. If you've seen it, just say, yeah, I've seen it. If you haven't, that's fine too. I'm going to try to steer as much away from spoilers as I possibly can in about 15 to 20 minutes. First thing is first, this movie is a long, long movie. You're looking at a 3-hour film. 3 hours. All bladder checks. I highly recommend getting rid of your bladder. Definitely go to the bathroom before the movie begins because you're in for a long, long film. You really don't want to take any bathroom breaks during this movie because you could miss something. You could miss a very important piece of exposition, and you don't want to lose that information. Secondly, before you even go into this movie, you had to have seen Infinity Wars. You must have seen Infinity Wars to know kind of what's going on after the snap. Rainbow, you'd be surprised. It really wasn't that bad. I was very emotional during this movie. There were tears that were shed. It is a very, very good movie. Again, coming from a guy who's not a huge Marvel fan, I'm a fan of the comic medium. Not necessarily, I'm a Marvel diehard guy. I know enough about Marvel to be dangerous. I'm more of a DC guy. I don't like what they've done with the DC movies, with the exception maybe Shazam and Wonder Woman. Even my love for Green Lantern, they butchered and beat the hell out of that movie. It was horrible. But as I mentioned, you have to go knowing to Infinity War. If you don't know much about the prior road trip of the Marvel Universe, of how the Marvel Universe is branched out in different phases, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, etc., you're going to get lost in this movie. Absolutely. My girlfriend didn't remember a lot of the old Marvel movies, and she got extremely lost. Stuff with the quantum realm, stuff for Ant-Man, it plays a huge part in this movie. You will get absolutely lost if you don't know about the prior movie. So, here's what I recommend. If you're going to go into this movie, you want to go into the movie knowing about the prior movies ahead of time. Here's what I recommend watching. Here's my watch list to go. This is Rook's watch list to watch. You don't need to watch every Marvel movie. Here's what I recommend watching. You have to watch Iron Man because it kicks off the Marvel series of stuff. You got to know about that. Iron Man 2 and 3, not needed. You don't need to know about that. Captain America, the first Avengers, you must watch that movie. Captain America, Winter Soldier, you don't super need to watch. It's more optional. I would recommend watching because it was good. The original Incredible Hulk movie wasn't that good. Iron Man was very good. So follow this list, Rainbow. I'll steer you in the right direction. It'll take a lot of movies though. Iron Man 1, Captain America 1, 2, and 3. Of course, that's First Avenger, Iron Man Winter Soldier, and Iron Man Civil War. Excuse me. Captain America First Avenger, Captain America Winter Soldier, and Captain America Civil War. Those movies you need to know. The very first Thor movie, you have to watch that one. The Dark World makes reference to the movie in the new Avengers movie. You don't need to. There's exposition that will fill you in. Same thing with Guardians of the Galaxy. I recommend seeing it if you haven't seen it. It's not needed. There's exposition that fills in the blank for that movie. So that's not needed. Excuse me. Yeah, and of course the very all Avenger movies. You have to watch the first Avengers movie. You have to watch Age of Ultron, and of course Infinity War. Then this one. So you're looking at about 9, 10 movies. You have to know specific pieces of exposition of how the Infinity Stones work and where they're currently at, and that really plays into this particular movie. Because if you don't know what's going on, you'll be absolutely lost. Absolutely, my girlfriend was completely lost of why are they doing this? What's going on here? She was like sitting there going, I don't get it. I don't understand. She's not a geeky person like I am. She likes some of the geeky stuff, but she's not ingrained into the history like I am. She doesn't know about the characters. She didn't know about Captain Marvel. She had no clue what was going on with those sort of things. Captain Marvel, I would say it's optional, but you kind of need to know some bits and pieces of that movie as well. So I'd say about 11 movies going forward. If you watch them in chronological order like that, so you have Iron Man first, and then the 3 Captain America movies, then you have Avengers 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then you have maybe Captain Marvel, or Captain Marvel technically first. So Captain Marvel first, then Iron Man. That will kind of fill in the gaps of what's going on. No spoilers here, AA. I'm not doing any spoilers. This is a spoiler-free video. It's going to be my thoughts on the movie, the timeline where you need to watch what movies. Because you don't need to watch every Marvel movie in their catalog. I saw Ant-Man. I did not see Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I wasn't lost when I went into Endgame. It is a 3-hour movie. You're in for a long, long trek. Would I recommend watching this movie if you're not a Marvel fan? No, because you'll get lost. As Rainbow pointed out, he doesn't know what's going on. Yeah. Again, no spoilers. I'm steering clear as much spoilers as I possibly can because I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who hasn't seen the movie yet. I highly recommend watching it. You had to have known what's going on, because if you don't, if you forgot a bit of exposition, even one more movie I kind of forgot to mention is Doctor Strange. You had to have watched Doctor Strange. There's a big portion of some of the Doctor Strange stuff in the new Endgame movie, so you have to know kind of what was going on with him. You need to. A lot of movies are good, Rainbow. The problem is they don't have a Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige is the guy who put this roadmap together and intertwined the movies into one another so they make sense in an overarching storyline. DC's trying to do this, but they had no Kevin Feige. They're trying to bring Jeff Johns in to fill that role. The problem is they don't have a game plan, and they're just throwing all these movies at the wall and see what would stick. Batman v Superman was an utter horrid disaster. It was a train wreck. They try to put together two completely different plot points into one movie, and they don't work. You can't do the Dark Knight and you can't do the Death of Superman into one movie. It's not built for that. You either have one movie as a standalone or the other movie as a standalone. You don't try to ram them together into one movie because it won't work. The plot is not built that way, and that's what happened in that movie. I wasn't a fan of Justice League. I didn't like what they did. There were some good parts of Justice League. Granted, I don't like what they did with the Flash character because he's not the Flash I see on TV. Ant-Man Wasp is not needed. AA Ragnarok I recommend watching. It's not part of the really Infinity Stone sort of stuff, but it's a great movie. Absolutely. Black Panther not really needed. You don't need to watch Black Panther to know what's going on in the Infinity War stuff. Definitely see Ragnarok. Infinity Wars you need to see first. Absolutely. Yeah, you have to be really a comic fan that likes DC. I'd never seen Aquaman, and I probably won't see it, even though it made a stupid amount of money in the box office. I'm not a big Aquaman fan. This is not the Aquaman that I really see in the comics. Aquaman to me always had blonde hair. He does not have black hair like Jason Momoa. Nothing against the guy, but to me, he's not Aquaman. He doesn't look like Aquaman to me. He's big and burly, that's fine, but he's not tattooed up. He doesn't have dark hair. He has blonde hair. It's what I always tell people when I talk about comic movies is if you're gonna be true to the source material, be true to the source material. For example, you would never make Blade, another Blade movie, with a white guy or a Scottish guy as Blade. It's a black guy, just like Spawn. Spawn's a black guy. You wouldn't make it a different character because it doesn't fit the overall context of the source material. It doesn't work. That's my biggest concern. Have you seen the Overwatch figures? Not yet, AA. And drink tonight. We're doing some cherry coke. I have not yet seen them in the stores. I've seen pops, but uh, not the Overwatch figures. Understand Rainbow, but I heard a lot of people liked it. I heard people said it was utter trash. Utter trash. They're massive comic book fans of let's say comic book movies, and people tell me it's garbage. They don't know what they're doing, and that's the big problem I had with DC. Probably one of my favorite DC movies is Wonder Woman. I really liked the Wonder Woman movie up to the third act. The third act was horrible of Wonder Woman, but the first two acts leading up was great. It was good stuff. They are making a Green Lantern Corps movie in 2020. That I'm very much looking forward to. Okay. Um, I don't know who's making them. I think maybe Hasbro. I'm not sure. I am going to be getting the Lightning collection for the new White Ranger. I know that Targets are selling them. I'm going to be picking the White Ranger one up whenever I can find one. I've heard there was a lot of QA issues when it came to the paint jobs. Have been kind of sketchy, very hit and miss. But to go back to Rainbow Optimus, yeah, I a lot of DC movies just have issues, and the problem I really think is that they don't have a direction of what they want to do, and Marvel did. That's why the Marvel movies are making billions of dollars in the box office, while the DC movies aren't, because they don't really have a direction of where they want to go with their stories, and they made them extremely dark. A lot of people don't want to have this dark overtone, mainly because, let's say, Batman. That's the reason why they have such a dark overtone is the Batman character. And Batman himself is a dark, brooding character. But you don't really he should be a piece of your integrated shared universe. He shouldn't be the whole show. Oh, it's kind of cool, AA. I have not yet seen her, Leo. I don't know where she's at tonight. She might be having computer problems. I wouldn't doubt it. Yep, Hasbro makes them. I figured. So I mean, that's the biggest. The biggest problem I had was lack of direction, lack of what they wanted to do. They didn't have a huge plan in place, and they had a bunch of different directors. They actually mainly had one guy's vision, but it was such a dark vision for Justice League. Instead of being more lighthearted, let's say Shazam. To me, the Shazam movie feels more like a Marvel movie than it does a DC movie. It was very lighthearted. You had literally the idea of the movie Big. You had a character that was a kid in an adult's body. That's really what it is. It's a comic book version of Big. That's if you really think about it, if you really dig down into the idea of the Shazam character, that's kind of what he is. Again, we didn't have The Rock playing Black Adam. He is playing the Black Adam character. They've already talked about it. He's already slated to play the role for Black Adam. He's the next big bad. Of course, he's one of the big bad characters for Shazam. In my idea, when you look at the Shazam character, you look at his antagonist, that's Black Adam. Much like you look at Green Lantern's antagonist as Sinestro. Superman, you have Lex Luthor. Same idea. The main antagonist of the character, the root of that character's reason for being good guy and bad guy. That's their dynamics off one another. Shazam was very good. I like Shazam. Let's see here. What's going on? What about the White Ranger? Hector, I'm going to be definitely picking up the new White Ranger since Hasbro has picked up the license now. Bandai has lost the license the from Hasbro picked up the license because Bandai lost it. Let's read here. What did you think of Endgame's cast? I liked Endgame's cast. It was nice to see some characters returned. Um, yep, there's no spoilers. We're keeping it very light right now. We're not going deep. Pink could have been better. Yep. The stuff with DC Universe app AA, I think they're on a very good path. And the reason why I say that, you have the Teen Titans TV show, which I heard was very good. They have a bunch of comics you can get on their app. I don't know if you have to then purchase those books or they're free books. I don't know. I don't know if it works like Comixology. I don't know if it works that way. Surely, no problem. Um, so I don't know they if they're. I'm assuming they're free for DC's app. The big thing I think people really want on that DC app right now is the Doom Patrol, which I heard was very good, and Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing is supposed to be a horror TV show. That's what they said. I cannot confirm nor deny it. I've not yet seen it. Have I ever seen Ben 10 before? I have seen Ben 10 before. My my flavor, what I like for stuff, is very eclectic. I watch a lot of different things. I watch a lot of things that people might be surprised about. I used to watch Mighty Max when I was younger. I watched Mask's cartoon, Mask, Mobile Armor Strike Command, the old TV show for Mask. Uh, I want them to bring back Constantine very badly, Captain Rex, so badly. The Constantine TV show was so good, so good. I mean, you had the Spectre in it. I mean, it was such a good TV show. It only lasted one season, and I think they had the wrong channel. I think they had the wrong network in mind. If it was on the CW, it would have succeeded. The Constantine show was extremely dark, extremely violent, and it was more of an adult-based TV show. It wasn't really light-hearted. It was extremely dark, but it was a very good TV show. If you've never seen Constantine, I highly recommend it. Great show. Yeah, you can read absolute, but the VC app, they have a bunch of stuff, bunch of content you can get. I believe their Teen Titan show was renewed. I believe the Green Lantern animated series is now there. If you've never seen the Green Lantern animated series, you really need to watch it. They did a phenomenal job with that TV show. It only failed mainly because they did not have a toy line to back the Green Lantern animated series. It cost them, I think it was $1 million an episode. It was extremely expensive to put out that animated series. No, she was. I hated her in Batman v Superman. Yeah, it's kind of corny, but that's her thing. If you were not aware, Hector, the character of Wonder Woman was created by the guy who created the lie detector. That was his creation. That was his thing. Wonder Woman is his creation. She's really linked to, let's say, bondage and S&M. You wrap her with her lasso and she's powerless. That's like one of her weaknesses. She was made out of clay she's sort of like a clay golem that was animated by the gods. As far as her backstory goes, but as far as like her integrated history, I don't know much about her. I saw it as well. I saw it at Target and I saw it at GameStop. The only books I really would want to eventually pick up, and I don't know if it's part of the the New 52, but it's stuff with Deathstroke. Mainly because it was a huge kind of veer off the point right now. Stuff with Deathstroke and the God Killer. Very cool books. Stuff with the Icon armor. Very, very cool. Somewhere down the line, I want to pick that stuff up in trade paperback format. I really want to read that. I think it's very, very cool. Yeah, I remember. They did talk about it. I mean, hopefully in 2020 we'll have a good Green Lantern movie. I hope they don't make Tom Cruise as Hal Jordan. I really hope they don't do that. From what I've heard, it's going to be like a buddy cop movie. You're going to have the grizzled veteran and the new guy. I'm assuming Hal's the grizzled veteran and John is the new guy. I'm only making the assumption. I'm not 100% sure of the plot. Yep, Deathstroke is Slade from the Teen Titans. And of course, we have Deadpool, which is a ripoff of Slade. So I definitely want to read that stuff. Stuff with the Icon armor, stuff with the God Killer sword. That stuff I really want to get my hands on. Yeah, you might even find them possibly at Five and Below. They have a very, very good deal on those waves. I don't know if that particular wave is available there. I know the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 wave was there for a long time. You could have bought each figure for $5. So if you're looking to get a collect and connect wave, always check your local Five and Below. You'd be very surprised what you can find there. I found several items there. Very, very surprised about that. There's a couple minutes left here, but again, finishing up with Endgame, I really recommend it. It is a tearjerker movie. If you go in there with a box of Kleenex, because there's a lot of emotional stuff with that movie. There's a lot of fanfare for this movie. They gave you so much fanfare for this movie. Even if you're not a Marvel fan, Rainbow, I really recommend it. I really, really recommend it. My girl had no clue what was going on, and she enjoyed the movie. She shed some tears too because it brought up a lot of pain points in her life, especially with deaths of family members and things like that. I highly, 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 highly recommend Endgame. It made a stupid amount of money to box office. Largest opening for any movie ever at 350 million domestically. It made I think 850 million internationally for $1.2 billion in its first 5 days releasing. It is the quickest grossing $1 billion movie of all time. No movie has gotten that fast, that amount of money that quickly ever. It's probably going to end at Avatar levels of money, which Avatar ended, I think, at 2.5 billion approximately. I expect it to break probably 2 million, actually 2 billion probably by the end of this weekend. It'll be at $2 billion. No problem, Rainbow. It's not for everybody's cup of tea, but if you're looking for a movie to waste 3 hours, but it's a good 3 hours, I recommend it. Again, it's not for everybody. If you like the Marvel movies, I recommend it. Again, big DC fan myself. Again, when I watch, I'm a comic book geek guy. I'm in the middle. Just like Star Wars or Star Trek. Which one do you like? I'm the guy who walks the line. I'm the guy who likes both franchises. I'm like guy. I say, why can't we all just get along? That's my thought on that. Why do we have to say I only like DC? I only like Marvel. I like them both. When it comes to, I collect DC books. I like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They did a phenomenal job with it. It's not that bad, Hector. I know there's some backlash for it, but it really wasn't that bad. There is some confusing bits with that movie, especially in the beginning. The plot is very, very wavy. It's very, very shaky. and you can get lost really quickly. I knew a little bit about Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers going into the movie. My girl had no clue who the character was, had zero knowledge, and was completely lost. She hates that movie. I knew about the character. I knew the background of the character. I like Captain Marvel. Rainbow. I have no problem with that, my friend, my dude. I have no problem with that. People are loyal to certain things and certain brands, and I get that. I'm more of I'm like Bruce Lee said. I'm like water. Be like water, my friend. Be like flowing like water. So that's me. I like both universes. I like Marvel. I like DC. When it comes to the comics, not so much. I'm a Gambit fan and a Darkhawk fan. Darkhawk got a resurgence because of War of Kings. He got a resurgence because of a couple books, Avengers Arena, um, and he's doing some new stuff now with Guardians. They changed his entire history in 2 pages of a comic. 2 pages wiped away 5 years of continuity. I was really mad at for several years at Marvel for doing something like that. I think it was horrible. We deserve a good 3 hour Green Lantern film. We do, as long as it has nothing to do with Simon Baz, has nothing to do with Jessica Cruz. As long as you take those characters off the table, I have no problem. If you give me the core Lanterns, you give me Hal Jordan, John Stewart, Guy Gardner, and Kyle Rayner, which is my Green Lantern. You give me those 4 guys, I would be so happy. Super happy. I mean, it is long and short. It's both. It's both in this movie. I think it's good to know about. I like both again. I like both universes equally. And when it comes to the movie line, yes, I think Marvel is much better than DC because of they have direction. They know what they're doing. DC has no clue. They really, really, really don't. When it comes to comics, I'm a DC guy. I am truly a DC guy. I don't read much Batman. I read, let's say, certain trade paperbacks. If you've never read The Long Halloween, I strongly suggest it. If you want to read a really good Batman book, Long Halloween's the way to go. If you're looking for like sort of thriller, it takes place in like year one of Batman. It is a noir sort of tale where he's acting as the world's greatest detective. He is trying to figure out a murder mystery. It is a murder mystery. It's a 12-issue maxi series. If you've never read it, I strongly, strongly suggest reading it. And that's about it for tonight, guys. I want to thank everyone who came into the stream. We're at 34 minutes. Um, you need to read it, Rainbow. If you've never read it, I strongly recommend it. And Dark Victory is the follow-up to Long Halloween. Same team built Dark Victory that built it. No, he's sitting right here, AA. He's going to be reviewed this Thursday. So that's going to be this Thursday's review. Hope you guys stay tuned for that. I want to thank everybody who came into the chat tonight stream. We're going to be cutting it in 3, 2, 1. Take care, guys, and night.